Welcome to Seven Rivers Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson. Each week, an inside look into sports, wellness, fitness. Well, the spotlight this week on one of the better programs in the Midwest. That's the Onalaska Boys Basketball program. Been one of the best for several years. Our guest this week, Issac, Helixon, Jacob Valk. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
You know, I've talked a lot to people in the community, teachers, coaches, and so on, and they have high praise for both of you. Now, you come off the bench, you're both reserves, but you understand your role, Issac. You understand it. I've seen a lot of programs. I've coached a lot of teams where players coming off the bench don't always understand their role. And sometimes it becomes toxic because that particular player or group of players wants to play a lot more. You understand your role and you're comfortable with it. Explain to our viewers what your role is, Issac.
Well, I would say my role is to just come in and really work hard in practice and make sure we're challenging the starters every day and other people that come in off the bench. So when we're working hard, it makes the starters work harder, and then everyone's getting better.
So you're comfortable with your role. We've broadcast a lot of games. I see you come off as the bench, and I see you contribute. I don't see you just come in and kind of go through the motions.
Yeah, I know when I'm, like, I make sure I'm ready before I get into the game, so I like to make sure I get some shots up. If I'm open, I'm gonna.
You're gonna launch them, because I noticed that, and I can see you're a good shooting guard too. And Jacob Valk, you come off the bench, I noticed too, and you come off the bench with the same approach. You're not bitter because you haven't played. You just come off and you're ready to contribute right away. What are you thinking about when you're on the bench?
I don't know. There's a lot. Thinking about just like if I do get in, just focusing on like what I can do and what I can do to like make the team better, what I can do to like score, all that stuff.
And so you're sitting on the bench, and there are some games you haven't gotten in.
Yeah.
What's your thought then? What's your role on the bench?
Just to cheer for our starters, or the kids who do get in, because like, I mean, close games, like I know I won't get much time in, but I mean, just got to cheer for them because, I mean, they want them to win.
Because that's your role.
Yeah.
Because both of you, it's all about we, not me.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the reasons you're on this show, because of the deep substance and the quality of the young people that you exhibit to others. So I compliment you on that. Jake, I watched you play football too. That you were a strong safety. You contributed a lot. You received some postseason honors. Let's go back and talk, because you had a great season too, the entire team. Mm-hmm. And Coach Yash has brought that program up. Talk about your experiences in football.
It was amazing. Definitely like my favorite sport. Best 4 years of high school, playing football. Yeah.
And did you achieve all the goals that you wanted as on the football field too?
I mean, our goal was to go to state, but yeah, that came short. But other than that, yeah, I think I achieved everything that
Well, you indicated in your profile form that one of the things that disappointed you was getting beat in the playoffs, and a lot of people were actually surprised in that first round loss.
Yeah, it was a 8 seed against a 1 seed, I think.
Something that nobody anticipated.
2 seed, yeah.
As we tape the show here in March 4th, the Hilltoppers 21-1, and Holman on Friday, and then the winner of Toma and River Falls, and I've seen River Falls and Toma, and they're both good teams, and that's on Saturday, and then everybody is pointed toward Thursday, March 12th, when the rematch of the Hilltoppers and the Red Raiders. Thoughts on the postseason, Issac?
Well, Coach has emphasized in practice not to look past any teams. Holman played us like really close in our first game against them. We won by 8, so we can't overlook anyone. Just have to make sure we do what we can to win.
You know, that kind of goes without saying, but your coach is exactly right. I've seen a lot of teams that look too far ahead, and of course, with a team as excellent as the Hilltoppers, you have a target on your back. And when you play other teams, you bring out the best in your opponent. Does that worry the team a little bit?
I mean, I don't really think it worries us. I think we're confident in what we can do, but we just have to make sure we're not overconfident heading into a game. We have to make sure we're staying focused.
I think you judge a team's excellence by how they practice. Some players are practice players, others just kind of slide by and they get ready for Friday Night Lights when they really shine. What kind of a practice player are you? And describe a practice for our viewers at Onalaska, Jake.
Well, me as a practice player, I just kind of like give it my all for the starters, make them better. Like obviously try and do good so that maybe get some playing time, and then practice like like what we do at practice every day. We start off with just like warm-up shooting, and then we'll go to like some fast break 5-on-5, and then we'll go through our opponent and our offense and defense usually.
And you break down skill development, and you work on a lot of different things each and every day. Mm-hmm. What's your big, when you are on the court, and what do you bring as your biggest skill?
I don't know. I feel like I'm more of an all-around. I don't say I excel really at anything. Probably shooting.
Shooting, and same thing with Issac, right? Because I've seen when you come in, you shoot the ball pretty well. You must have worked when you were younger on being a good shooter.
Yeah, shooting was always something I just liked doing, so I spent a lot of time at the Y and shooting.
Yeah, and I see your form is excellent too. So you've mastered that. Well, when you're a student first, both of you, and an athlete second, which again is I'm impressed by that. So talk about your dedication to studies. I know, Issac, looking at your resume, you excelled as a student athlete at the middle school level. You were Student of the Year. You got some honors there. You're a WIA Scholar Athlete. So you really put that as a priority.
Yeah, sometimes in school I would say it's hard, especially when we have big games coming up, but I know school is the most important thing, and paying attention and working hard will pay off in the future.
So you're taking AP classes now too. Mm-hmm. Is it a struggle to balance everything?
Sometimes, but I'm pretty good at using my time wisely, so I have time to focus on basketball too.
And your parents are professionals, and they expect grades first and basketball second. Mm-hmm. So, and you're a great student too, Jake, 3-point student plus, and you've gotten some honors, and you've taken difficult classes too.
Yeah.
Share that with our viewers.
What the classes I'm taking? I mean, same thing as I just trying to like balance the classes with sports and other stuff going on. Makes it difficult sometimes, but you always be able to like keep my grades up.
You have to, time management is a big part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, because you get homework and you have practice and you have other things you want to do. Is there a favorite class you have, favorite teacher?
Oh man, PE.
PE?
No.
A lot of athletes say that, but what about more difficult classes?
Probably a Nat and Phys. Just, I like science. It's fun. And the teacher's cool.
Who's your teacher?
Mr. Shumper.
Oh, yeah. So, but the culture of Onalaska is pretty encouraging too, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the culture of the basketball program is also impressive.
Yes.
What is that culture? What would you say, Issac? Describe the culture.
I would say our culture is, I don't know, we're really good at playing as a team and making sure everyone accepts their roles and knows what they're going to be doing and how much of a role they're going to play. Together,
everyone accomplishes more. Team. Mm-hmm. And I've seen a lot of teams that self-destruct because it's just too much emphasis on personal goals, personal accolades, and if I don't get the ball, I don't score, then who cares who wins, because it's all about me. And that's not the way the Hilltopper program is developed, is it? Give me an example of that.
I would say, like, I just think every day we kind of see that. I mean, there's really like no complaining about roles at all on our team. I think that's because we all know what our goal is. It's to win state, and we all know what it takes, and everyone being on the same page is a big part of that.
Yeah, exactly. And knowing that your personnel, knowing your 5 starters, I mean, they seem to be focused on helping other people get better too. Good. Well, we're going to step aside just for 1 minute, and we come back more here on Seven Rivers Sports.
With our busy lives, it's a comfort to know that we can still remember loved ones in a traditional way with a monument. Lewiston Monuments in Lewiston, Minnesota has been helping families purchase a monument for over 4 generations. You'll find a large selection of beautiful granite, marble, and bronze monuments, all at competitive prices. And they're a full-service company, so they also do straightening, cleaning, and repair of monuments. Stop in or call for a no-obligation consultation, or visit lewistonmonument.com for more information.
You know, the thing I'm most proud of when I think about our company is the reputation that we've been able to build in this community. Our technicians have done a great job going out and performing magnificent jobs for the customer. And our customers have rewarded us with some really great reviews online.
We have over 150 5-star reviews online right now. Our technicians do a great job out there, and our reviews show it.
We can say without hesitation, when you choose Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, you'll be glad you did.
Well, welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports, Onalaska Basketball. We are profiling the team this week. Two seniors that exemplify what an athlete should be all about, and that's Issac Helixon and Jacob Valk. I read an interesting article about the characteristics of a successful team, and it broke it down into 5 different categories. And the first one is having a teachable spirit. Not everybody has what's called a teachable spirit. Not everyone takes a correction as a compliment, but good teams do. Describe your teachable spirit, Isaac.
I would say I know my coaches, they know what they're doing, so if I'm doing something wrong, I mean, if they tell me, I know they're here to help, and I guess I'm really open to making sure I follow what they say and do it the right way.
Humility is another quality of a successful person and a successful team. And Jake, you exemplify humility because you said in your profile sheet that's important to you.
Yeah, so like we know that we're like our team's good enough, and like I know like how good we are, and we don't ever talk about like we're gonna beat so and so. Like we always look at each team the same, or don't ever look down upon an opponent.
And your leadership skills are leading with a spirit of humility.
Yeah.
How did you learn that?
Just through sports and my parents, I'd say. Just learning. Wasn't always a leader growing up, but I learned pretty quick through football and basketball.
The third component, and I really like this one too, is servanthood. In other words, serve others rather than yourself. Make others better. How do you do that, Isaac?
I think this goes for pretty much all of the reserves that don't get as much playing time. We know, obviously we're not going to play as much, but and we don't like get in the paper or whatever, but we know our hard work helps out, and it helps our practices go well and helps our starters get ready for our games.
You may not get in the paper, you may not get into other media, but you're on Seven Rivers Sports.
Yeah.
That sends a message in itself. Toughness. Toughness is a big quality. Jay Billis talks about toughness all the time. Not physical toughness, but mental toughness. Getting, handling obstacles and defeats and setbacks and so on. How do you display that?
I don't. I'm trying to think. Me as a person, I probably display mental toughness just like when times are rough in like basketball games and like our starters might not be doing as good as they should be doing, or things aren't going our way. We just keep cheering them up. We don't like bash our own teammates or anything like that, and we
Good answer.
Lift them up.
Good answer. And finally, enthusiasm. Don't be lukewarm about something. Be passionate. passionate and show your energy. Do you do that, Isaac?
Yeah, definitely. I don't talk a lot, but in the games, I'm definitely enthusiastic and ready to support the team.
And of course, being an honor roll student every semester, you're pointed toward the next chapter of your life, which is a 4-year college. Talk about that.
Yeah, I'm going to UW-Madison next year. Not sure what I'm going to study, but I'm excited to go. It'll be fun to get a good education there, and then there's also a good sports there as well.
Exactly, and 4 of our 5 children went to Madison, and I always told them, study hard and so on, and don't spend too much time on State Street. You know what happens on State Street. Yeah. Were you told that too?
Yeah, kind of, but I think my parents know I'm not going to do that. My plan is not to spend too much time there already.
Good for you. I'm sure of that. And Jake, you're come May when you graduate, you're pointed toward 4-year college too.
Yeah, I plan on going to Winona for probably sales or marketing somewhere in the business area.
Good. And what brought you to that sort of decision on where you want to go?
It's closer to home because I didn't want to move really far away, so I wanted to be close to home. And I like business classes, and they have a really good business program there. And then their sports are also pretty good. And yeah.
All of us have been inspired by people in our journey through life. Who's inspired you?
I'd say Kobe Bryant. His work ethic, everything that he did before he passed away. He's just a good person, like on and off the court.
If you read about his lifestyle, and of course a lot of it has come out since the tragedy, he said many things and many quotes and so on, but one of them that resonates with me is he couldn't understand lazy people. He didn't want anything to do with lazy people, and he was so driven, up at like 4 or 5 in the morning and just going full speed the entire day. It's a lesson for all of us. Do you practice any of that?
Yeah, I mean, in the summer I'd wake up at 5:30, 6 to go lift every morning, just to get ready for football. And days that we don't have basketball practice, I'll go over to my neighbor's house and shoot hoops.
Good for you. So you're taking a page from successful athletes. And I know your parents have been an inspiration to you. Your dad is a coach and teacher, and your mom too, in the banking industry. And one of my favorites growing up watching is one of your favorites, and that is?
Larry Bird.
Yeah. Now, what kind of special qualities did Larry Bird exhibit that you found interesting?
Well, I think he was a really hard worker too. He had some really tough situations when he was a kid. He was in a really poor area, and he was one of the poorest families in that town, and he just battled through it and ended up getting a scholarship to play at Indiana State, and then he kept working, and he was always one of the hardest workers. And that helped him win all those championships with the Celtics.
And he was humble too, and certainly it demonstrates what making that extra effort's all about. No question about it. You're a leader too in your own quiet way, and you indicated what your philosophy of leadership is, which I found pretty interesting.
Yeah, I said helping others without expecting anything in return was the way I define leadership, because I think our coach talks about that a lot too, servant leadership, and one of the best ways to be satisfied in life is to help others, and you don't even need anything in return. It's just the fact that you're helping people.
That's pretty unique quality for somebody young, expecting nothing in return. So you demonstrate that whether you're in sports or not.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. And I found we talked about your humility and so on, which is a interesting characteristic of you. But you also want to make a difference in this world.
Yeah. I mean, my plan for life is when I go, I just want to have an impact on somebody, or like have somebody be able to say that like he did this, or like know me, or like have an impact on some people. And yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. So something that maybe our viewers might not know about you, what would that be, Jake?
I mean, my favorite thing is probably just like a nice night sitting around a fire.
And just reflecting and meditating.
Mm-hmm.
And what's some of the things going through your mind when you're looking at that fire?
I don't know, just thinking about life, talking with the people around the fire. So I just think that's like the most calming thing ever.
It certainly is, because we do that quite a bit as a family.
Yeah.
And it kind of provokes thoughts, memories, reflections. It's just a good way to bond together as a family and so on. Something people may not know about Issac Helixon. What would that be?
Well, I know some people know this, but I said my favorite basketball player is Larry Bird, so yeah.
And your favorite team is the Celtics?
Yep.
So you ever heard of the Bucks?
Yeah.
You watch them once in a while?
Yeah, but like if they're playing, I want the Celtics to win.
Really? Do you have a favorite saying?
It's a Larry Bird quote. It's like, winners are people who use their talents to, oh gosh, I'm trying to remember.
No, that's okay. But it is Larry Bird working their tail off to reach a goal. That describes you too, right? And Jake, I know you have a favorite sort of writer, poet, famous person from the past.
Mm-hmm. What's his name again? Oh yeah, George Bernard. His quote was, "A life spent making mistakes is more honorable than a life spent doing nothing."
Exactly. Have you made any mistakes?
Yeah.
But you rectify them.
Yeah.
Well, both of you are just the substance that you demonstrate, the qualities, the depth, the values of an Onalaska high school senior shows exactly who you're all about, and that's why you're on the show. So we want to thank you, Issac Helixon and Jacob Valk, for being on Seven River Sports. Good luck the rest of the way, and hopefully you bring a state championship back to the Cougars.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We'll be back with some closing thoughts right after this.
You know, the thing I'm most proud of when I think about our company is the reputation that we've been able to build in this community. Our technicians have done a great job going out and performing magnificent jobs for the customer. And our customers have rewarded us with some really great reviews online.
We have over 150 5-star reviews online right now. Our technicians do a great job out there, and our reviews show it.
We can say without hesitation, when you choose Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, you'll be glad you did.
When you're faced with the decision of selecting a monument to honor someone dear to you, call Lewiston Monuments for a no-obligation consultation. Lewiston Monument is a full-service monument company serving families in Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin for over 4 generations. You'll find beautiful granite, marble, and bronze memorials, all at competitive prices. Their experts can help you design the perfect and unique memorial. Lewiston Monument. Call today or on the web at lewistonmonument.com.
Welcome back to Seven River Sports. I hope you enjoyed this week's show as we spotlighted the Onalaska Boys Basketball program, a team that went 14-0 in the MVC. Next week, my guest is Coach Brent Thill, head women's coach, Western Technical College Cavaliers. In case you missed it, the Cavaliers recently won the Division III College National Championship, beating Northland College 69-60. Until next week, I'm your host, Terry Erickson, hoping that you will have an active and a healthy week ahead.